Welcome. This is a video about absolute value. Um, I'm going to do a couple of these problems together, so I will give you the cutoff time so you can watch it up to that time, or if you want to watch this for highly proficient, you can watch at that time. So let's do first this proficient. It says write the equation of the given graph. One of the things you need to know is that our generalized form of the absolute value functions are y or f of x, same thing, is equal to a times the absolute value of x minus h, close absolute value, plus k. They look a lot like the parabolas that we studied in other units. And in order to write the equation, you just need to know a, h, and k. And so one thing we know is that this opens up. Since this opens up, we know that a is positive because it opens up. We know that a is positive, and then we just look at the slope. This goes up 1 over 1, so that's positive 1 in y. Its rise is 1, and it goes over 1 towards the right, which is a positive change in x, or that's run would also be 1. And 1 divided by 1 is 1. So a is 1. I would write y equals 1, absolute value, x. Now, here's my vertex. And that the coordinates of that point are, it's 1 to the right, so that's 1 in x, and it's down 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it's minus 4. So since it's x minus h, and h is 1, it's x minus 1. And then plus k, but k is minus 4, so we'll just put minus 4 off at the end. What I want you to notice is that this is minus, even though this is positive. So it has that opposite kind of feel to it. You look at the minus, you might think that the vertex, or the x-coordinate of the vertex, is negative 1. It's not, it's 1. And so here, this is h, and this is k, but since it's x minus h, it's x minus 1. All right, I would not normally write this 1 here, and I'm not going to today either. So this is, because 1 times anything is just whatever other thing you're multiplying it by. And so this is the absolute value of x minus 1 minus 4, and that is that equation there. So we'll mark this is 3 at 310. All right, on this problem here, highly proficient, it says to graph the equation below. Hint, making a table might be helpful. Plot at least 5 points. All right. Well, how do you decide which points to choose? I would say there's a few things that you want to know. So look, your a is negative 2, so I know it's going to open down. It's going to be like that. I can look at my h, my a value is the opposite of this plus 1, and so it's negative 1, and then this is plus 5, and so it's negative 1 comma 5. That's my h and my k, and then it's my vertex. So I know that the vertex is going to be at negative 1 comma 5. That's going to be the top, because I do know that it opens down. But it also helps me to see, where do I want to go with this? And what I would say is choose values. Let's go 1 point there. Let's choose one value right next to it. So negative 2. If we say here x and y, since we need to do 5 values, I'm going to make negative 1 the center. That's where my vertex is. And I already know that at negative 1, it's 5. But it's a good idea to check. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this negative 1, 5 isn't correct, but I can check it by plugging it in. So we just put that in the value of, if I put that negative 1 in here for x, I should get out 5 as the value that I get for y. And so I'm just going to see if that happens. If I put in negative 2 times absolute value of negative 1, taking that x value and putting it in here for x, plus 1, close absolute value, and then I've got plus 5. Well, negative 1 plus 1 is 0 on the absolute value of 0. So this is times negative 2 and then plus 5. Absolute value of 0 is still 0. So I'm just going to change that to parentheses. Negative 2 times 0 plus 5. And negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5, which is 5. So sure enough, y equals 5, which is what we expected to happen. You can check them. You can check these points. And so then I'm going to go to the left. To the left, I've got negative 2, and I've got negative 3. And then I've got, to the right, I've got 0 and 1. So I'm going to plug in those values, but this I purposely chose as my middle value, and then I just went to the left and to the right and chose those x values. Now I'm going to plug them in. What happens? Negative 2 times, I'm just going to start at the top here, negative 3 plus 1 plus 5. And that's negative 2 times negative 3 plus 1. This is negative 2. So I'm going to write that down, but just a quick mental math. That's inside the absolute value brackets, and the absolute value of that is 2, is positive 2. So I'm going to just put times 2 plus 5. And that is negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 5. And that's 1. So when x is negative 3, y is 1. I'm just going to plug that in here. Negative 3, I'm at 1. See if that makes sense here. From there, I'm going to go to negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 2 plus 1 plus 5. Let me just highlight so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Here's that negative 3, and I'm plugging it in here for x. So I plugged in negative 3, I got out 1. Now I'm plugging in negative 2. And I want to see what I get. So that is equal to negative 2, and negative 2 plus 1, that's negative 1. The absolute value of that is positive 1. So negative 2 times 1 plus 5. And that's negative 2 plus 5, which is 3. So over here at negative 2, I'm at 3. At negative 2, I go up 1, 2, 3. All right, let's kind of see maybe what that's doing. But what happens at 0? Negative 2, parentheses. Oh, negative 1 we already know. I'm sorry. Negative 1 we know that we are at 5. We did that one at the beginning. So now we're looking at 0. So negative 2, 0 plus 1 plus 5. This is equal to negative 2 times, and 0 plus 1 is 1, and the absolute value of 1 is also 1. So I can see right here that it's going to be the same as what's on top here. And so it's equal to 3. This is 3. So at 0, we're at 3. And here I can start to see what the symmetry of this V shape looks like. But for good measure, let's go ahead and do 1. If I have 1 here, then I can plug in negative 2 times plus 1, and this is 1 plus 1, close parentheses, plus 5 equals, so I put in this 1 in for x. In the absolute value brackets here, I've got 1 plus 1 is 2, and the absolute value of 2 is 2. So I've got negative 2 times 2 plus 5. And that's negative 4 plus 5, which is 1. So at 1, we're at 1. Over here at 1, I'm up to 1. And now I can see what's happening. It goes down like that on the left, and on the right it goes down 2 to the right 1, 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 and it's just going to continue in that same pattern downwards here. Now, I want you to notice that down 2, that's minus 2 in x, over 1, that's plus 1 in y. And a negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. And what I want you to notice here is that that negative 2 is the same as this negative 2. So you can also use the slope. If you just plot your vertex here and then use your slope that it's negative 2, you could just go down from there. And then the other side is just reflected across that center line, like our axis of symmetry. And so they're all the same distance apart from that line. Anywho, guys, that's how you do it. It asks for 5 points. 5 points, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. I'm good. Alrighty, good luck. Keep working hard, study. You've got this.